Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia Hendrickson, aka So Casually Chic on Instagram and socasuallychic.wordpress.com. Welcome to the Lumia Zip Up Hoodie Day 4. Today is a big day. We're going to construct the hood. We're going to attach the hood as well as the bottom band to the jacket. And we are going to attach the zipper, yay! We'll also be adding twill tape to the zipper to finish it off beautifully on the inside. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to post them here or on my blog or in the Facebook group. I'll have a post in the Facebook group for every day of the week and you can go in and ask questions. And today we're starting to get a little bit closer to the end of the sew along. So make sure that you look for that post in the Facebook group where you can post your finished garment after you've finished your zip up hoodie. Post one picture of your hoodie or a collage and that will enter you for one of our prizes. We have 5 different prizes this sew along from Greenstyle Patterns and also from Olga's Knit Closet, who is our sponsor for this sew along. She'll be giving away some fabric prizes. And so look for that post. Go to the Facebook group for Greenstyle Creations and do a search for hashtag Lumia SAL. Another way you can earn entries for prizes is to post on Instagram and use the hashtag Lumia SAL and also GS Lumia. We'll search through those and also through the Facebook post. Well, we won't search through them, but we'll make a random selection and we'll have 5 winners at the end of the sew along. So good luck today. Let me know if you have any questions and I hope you love the video. For step 13, we're going to construct the hood. Before you do that, you need to make sure that you have stabilized these short end pieces. I've done it on my 2 main pieces. I did not do it on my lining pieces because this is pretty thick, stable fabric. So doing the one is going to be enough for me, but you may need to add it to all of the pieces if this fabric isn't very thick or stable. Also, if you're going to add grommets, you need to have done that already before you construct the hood. So I've added the grommets here, and make sure that you use some interfacing to stabilize that spot before you cut and add the grommets as well. All right, so we're gonna start by pinning one side to the center piece, and you should have markings here on both pieces, and you're gonna make sure to line those up to indicate which is the top side of the centerpiece. And so you'll start by flipping that centerpiece over, and then we'll just pin. And I like to pin first to the ends and my markings, or my notches, and then go around and pin the rest. And it's easier for me to pick up a curved piece for pinning. You shouldn't have to stretch either of the pieces. They should just line up perfectly. Okay, and once that is pinned, we'll take it over to the machine and stitch it. I went ahead and stitched the 2 pieces together that we just clipped. And then I have a stitch line here. So now we're gonna go ahead and clip the pieces that we just stitched to the other side, all right? We'll line them up just the same way by laying this piece right side up and then laying the center piece right side up with the 2 notches aligned, and we'll flip the center piece over on top of the side piece and clip them in the opposite direction. We'll take this over to the machine and again, using a stretch stitch and a 3/8 inch seam allowance, stitch along here. After you do that, you will have completed one of the hood pieces. Now I want to show you the one that I've completed already. So this is going to be my liner. And a couple things that I want to point out to you. When you do the liner piece, you are going to want to finish the bottom edge after you've stitched it all together. And I also recommend ironing these seams open if you have used your sewing machine. Do you see how it's open and flat? What that does is it creates a nice looking seam on the outside. And you can see how the seam is fairly flat on this piece. On my first piece, I stitched it and I did not iron it. And look at the difference. Do you see how that is? This is all stitched, it's not pinned. Do you see how bumpy it is and how it's got those like bubbles that go down into the seam? And I'll pick up the other piece and compare. So that's what ironing will do for you. It'll just make your hood look smoother and nicer. So if you used a serger, you can just, instead of ironing it open, like I do, you would just iron it all to one side. Now we're going to begin step 14, which is to pin and stitch the hood or collar to the neckline. Right here I have my collar piece, and I have the neckline, which I've marked the center back with a clip, and I marked the center of the collar piece with a clip. This is the longer end of the collar piece here that's going to attach to the neckline. If you're doing the hood, it's the same step. So we will start pinning or clipping at the center and then the ends. We're going to go ahead and combine steps 14 and 15, so I am going to flip this over to the bottom and we'll go ahead and pin the band. Here is my band piece. I have one end finished and one end not finished. So we are going to pin or clip the unfinished end to the bottom of the jacket. I'll start by marking my center on the band, and then I will mark my center on the jacket. And that will just help me to evenly distribute. Right sides together, so you'll pin them just like so. Okay, and once you've finished pinning, we will take this over to the machine and we can stitch both seams, top and bottom. To complete steps 14 and 15, we will stitch the hood or collar to the jacket and also the bottom band. Keep in mind we are only working with one piece of the collar, so don't be concerned about adding the other piece. That will come later. And again, this is a stretch stitch that I'm using. You could also use your serger. So that was the collar. And now we'll do the bottom band. So the collar and the bottom band are now attached. Now we're on step 16, the zipper. So I have my zipper laid out here and the one front of my jacket here, and I've marked a couple spots on the jacket. So this clip indicates 1/2 inch down from the top of the collar, and this pin indicates halfway from the bottom of the band to the top of the band, and that includes that seam allowance there. So I have the zipper with the bottom of the zipper by the band and the top of the zipper by the collar. I am going to use Wash Away Wonder Tape to adhere the zipper to the front. All I'm going to do is take the tape and stick it to the edge of the zipper all the way. This stuff is really handy when working with zippers. I love it. It makes zipper installation so much easier. Okay. Put it on a little cricket over here. Let's see if I can fix that. Okay, now after it's on, we'll remove the backing to expose the other sticky side. And then we're going to flip the zipper onto the jacket. And I'm going to turn it just like so. So you have the edge of the zipper tape lining up with the edge of the jacket. And make sure to start at your pin. And I'm just going to firmly press it in place all the way up to the top. Okay, and it ends right at my clip. If you have a zipper that is the wrong size, if you have too big of a zipper, you can always stitch at the teeth there to lock it and then clip off the excess, as long as you have a plastic zipper. Okay, so stick a few pins to hold it in place. Now, the reason I still have the zipper zipped up is because I want to mark on the other side of the zipper where the seams are for the bands. So, because I want to make sure they should line up correctly when I attach them, but I'm going to mark a pin where this seam is, and I want to make sure that my zipper tape lines up at this pin on that seam. And I'll do the same thing on the top. So now I know on my other zipper tape exactly where the tape should line up at the seam. And that's oftentimes a tricky part when attaching zippers. Move this over. Is you'll attach it and then the seams don't line up. And that's tough. So hopefully this will help get it all lined up. Just gotta get the pins out of the way when you're unzipping it. Okay. Now I'll stick a few more clips. I don't need a lot because I have the Wash Away Wonder Tape. Okay, and now we will flip it over and do the other side. Mark my 1/2 inch flip. I have my pin in place. And now I need to flip this over. And I can sort of eyeball just to make sure everything looks like it's going to line up correctly. And then once I've done that, I'll use the Wonder Tape again. I just need to get my pins out of the way when I'm sticking the tape on. Just don't want to lose my spot. Okay. I suppose like a chalk mark would also work well to mark those spots. And you wouldn't have to fuss with the pins. Okay, so I have my zippers attached with Wonder Tape, and I went ahead and removed the straight pins and flipped my jacket over. I'm going to attempt to zip it up and see if my seams lay straight. This is a better time to check it than after I stitch everything. Another option would be to baste everything, baste the zipper and then do this part and see how the seams look. But since I have the wash away Wonder Tape, it seems like that would be just as good as basting. So if you can see right here, the collar seam is lining up well, and that's what I want to check. The tops of the collar are lining up, so that looks good. And the band seam goes straight across the zipper, so that is good as well. So we're in good shape. At this point, I will unzip, okay, and take this over to the machine and use my zipper foot to actually stitch the zipper. It's time to stitch the zipper in place. So I have changed my feet and I have a zipper foot now. I'm using a straight stitch. And I just like to run the edge of the zipper foot along the teeth. Up and pull my zipper out of the way. Okay, one side is done. Time for side two. Make sure that your seam allowance for the hem is down and your seam allowance for the collar or hood is up when you're sewing. We're done. Here's how it looks on the inside. And here's how it looks on the outside. We're going to use some twill tape to finish the inside of this zipper. And so I'll start by putting some wash away Wonder Tape onto the zipper tape right along the edge here. Okay. Now I'll take a piece of twill tape and I am going to go just above the top of the zipper, and I'm going to line it up about 1/8 of an inch away from the teeth. So really close to the teeth. Okay, and then I want to make sure it goes over the end of the bottom. So I'll cut a little extra, maybe about 3/4 of an inch. Then we're going to take it over to the machine and we're going to stitch close to this edge that's near the teeth. We're going to go ahead and stitch it to the zipper tape. I still have my zipper foot on, and I'm just going to stitch very close to those teeth and very close to the edge of that twill tape. Here's what it looks like on the underside, and here's what it looks like on the front. There's a stitch line, sorry for the black, but there's a stitch line right by the edge of the twill tape, and the twill tape is just under the teeth of the zipper. Do the same for the other side. So how did day 4 go? Let us know in the comments or head on over to the Greenstyle Facebook group and let us know on the day 4 sew along post. Just search #LumiaSAL to find all our posts for the week. We look forward to hearing from you.